Time to get ready.
I knew about it before.
Good evening. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I would like a motion to approve this evening's agenda. Commissioner Petrie?
I wanted to pull something from the consent agenda and just, I'm not gonna not approve it, I just had questions about it, and it's on the consent agenda.
So we first have to approve the agenda.
Okay, so moved.
And then, do we first approve?
Approval of the agenda
Yeah,
with
with the
removal
move
of
up.
whatever item
Okay.
and then where you want it to go.
Okay, so I move that we approve it, removing, or just moving, consent agenda 1, C1. Just have some questions about
Would you like to make that item G5?
it. Sure. Or 4.
For G5.
Oh.
Support.
Okay, so motion was made by Commissioner Petrie to approve the agenda with the removal of consent agenda 1 to G5 and supported by Commissioner Glissman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, minutes. Commissioner Brady.
Motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting held July 14th, 2025, and the regular meeting held July 21st, 2025.
Support.
The motion was made by Commissioner Brady and supported by Commissioner Glissman. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed say no. The motion is carried. All right, now is the time in our agenda for public comments. Please raise your hand if you'd like to get up to the podium and speak for 3 minutes. Gentleman in the back.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Jeremy Hing, and I've lived in the city for quite some time. My wife and I are Lapeer natives. Together we spent 8 years as overseas missionaries with focuses on community development, education, and disaster relief. We've also established a nonprofit that serves the needs of survivors of human trafficking, which we operate to this day. Lapeer has always been our home and family. We returned to the U.S. during the pandemic and settled back into Lapeer. Unfortunately, we discovered that it was no longer the Lapeer we once knew. Just in our neighborhood alone, we've had to face infrastructure issues that remain unaddressed, literally incomplete after 20 plus years, in addition to persistent industrial pollution that violates both state and city laws. And this goes unchecked. These issues have been brought before the City Commission, past and present, yet nothing has changed. Through this experience, I've observed that there is a disparity between what is said and what is done. Citizens' needs are not prioritized over self-serving wants. There's a lack of transparency and accountability. But most disturbingly, city officials are often divided in ways that have a negative impact on its citizens. For these reasons and more, I am announcing my candidacy for mayor. I do not have a background in local politics, and that may be the best thing for this city, because something is broken about the local politics here. The people know it, and they have begun to act on it. However, I have personally led teams and projects to build schools, hospitals, homes, and churches. I have planned and participated in disaster relief efforts between multiple international agencies. Foreign governments do not just let outsiders walk in and do these things unless there is a demonstrated level of excellency, follow through on promises, and most of all, a prioritization of the people's well-being over personal agendas. I have navigated cross-cultural barriers and bureaucracy, unified people, and built relationships upon trust, leaving a lasting positive impact. I bring that same passion to this campaign. No matter the outcome, I will affect some good for this city one way or another. I will force myself, my team, and other candidates to raise their standards just to compete with me. I will not let this city's legacy be a tunnel to nowhere, rather one of foundation, future, and hope. It is not enough for a candidate to stand on catchy words like integrity or common sense in campaign rhetoric. We must actually apply and live those things out in every facet of our lives. Anything less is unacceptable, and the citizens of Lapeer deserve better. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lynn, is it Lynn? Yes.
Hello, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Lenny McCarthy. I ran for city commissioner, and for whatever reason, no one ran against me, so I'm grateful. And some of you know me, some of you don't. I've been with the historic courthouse downtown for over 25, 30 years. I was able to work with the county commissioners and others to get a $1.25 million funding, and that is the restoration you see at the courthouse now. I'm also on the zoning board. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I don't want to take up a lot of your time. There's a lot on the agenda. If anybody wants to know what my concerns, my focus are, you can always come and talk to me personally. And I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. I'm going to have to fill big shoes. And I'm sure you're frustrated you're leaving, but I'm so glad to have this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Ben Lindstrom. I live in Davison, not in Lapeer, but I'm one of the many riders who are here tonight about the proposed trail extension at Oakdale. Some of you already know me. I'm a Davison City Council member and Planning Commission member, and I'm also a committee member on the Beaver Dash Bash Race Committee with Chris here, and often volunteer at the Oakdale Trails. Before I get into some more details about the trails, so I recently bought a home in Davison. I looked at Lapeer, but I didn't. One of the things that held me back from buying a house in Lapeer was the lack of safe streets and paths that actually go to useful places. Like, have you ever tried walking or riding your bike to Kroger or Home Depot here in Lapeer? It's not a pleasant or safe experience. So I come to Lapeer a few times a week, year round, and I spend thousands of dollars a year here at local businesses, Tilted Axis, Crank Cycling Fitness, other restaurants and businesses in the area. And through contacts that I've made, because of the trails, because these trails exist, I've even hired contractors from Lapeer instead of from Davison. So it's bringing a lot of my money is being spent here in Lapeer instead of in Davison, even though I'm a city council member, because of these trails exist. So, why should we spend money on trails? So it's not just economics, it's quality of life. In the United States, $1.2 trillion of the US GDP is spent on outdoor recreation. And a strong community identity will erode the desire of young people to leave the city. And I put together some demographic statistics here. Sorry, I'm kind of shaking. About City of Lapeer. So in 2000, this is US Census data, there were 9,072 people in the City of Lapeer. And in 2020, 9,023. So a little bit less, pretty steady. But if you look at the age of the population, in 2000, 29% were 45 and up. And in 2020, 44% are 45 and up. And conversely, the percent of the population 18 to 44 years old, in 2000, 46% were 18 to 44, and 2020, 37%. So the population of Lapeer is aging. And how do you get people to want to, young people who are growing up, how do you get them to want to stay here? You have to provide those kind of amenities. And I think the return on investment of trails, like this proposed extension, is so good. It's basically 100% ROI in the first year. Compare that to like real estate rental, which is like 12% in a year. And just
I'm sorry, your 3 minutes are up.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anybody else? Jim?
Good afternoon, everybody. James Alt with the Lapeer Main Street DDA. I just wanted to use this time real quick. We got Back to the Bricks coming, the tune-up event coming on Wednesday. And so I just wanted to use this time to say thank you to the various city departments, parks, police, fire, DPW, for their help. on this event, because this is totally new ground for me. We do the Monday night cruise, but that's, 200 cars. Wednesday, we're looking at 1,000 cars. So I really appreciate their feedback and their support, and just wanted to say thank you to all of you guys for your help for this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chris?
Good evening, everybody. I think most of you here know who I am. Chris Turner from Crank Cycle and Fitness. Long time, my lifetime resident of Lapeer County. I'm going to read right through what I have written to try to stay on track. And this is about the trail expansion that I know that you are considering this evening, and what I hear back at the bike shop when people come in, and at all of our Crank for a Cause events. Since 2016, 2017, the trails have become a bigger and bigger attraction to our city. Runners, hikers, cyclists, and even cross-country skiers have come to enjoy the peaceful wooded trail system for not only physical health, but mental health. People from all over are coming to use the City of Oakdale trails. This is not a trail system that is simply being used for our community. There are so many other people coming to our town to use these trail systems, and I hear it every week in my shop. And continue to ask, we continually get asked in our bike shop if there are expansions in the future. Will there be parking off of John Conley? Is there going to be more, trail length? Those sort of questions are happening all the time. We constantly hear how amazing it is to have a trail system in the city of Lapeer, not only at our bike shop, but at our Crank for a Cause events like Lapeer Days, or the Spring Expo, the chamber puts on every year. We've been there consistently over the last 3 years advertising the trails and getting more and more usage on that for the city of Lapeer. Some, I think, are wondering why, in the room, maybe wondering why do we need a trail expansion? I firmly believe that the expansion and the layout of the new section of the trail will reach the viewing position of the I-69 corridor, and people that frequent our trail systems will see that the city of Lapeer is involved with the ecotourism of our area by giving families and our local residents a place to be with nature and be active with their families. This expansion will boost the usage of past, present, and bring future riders to check out our city and what we have to offer. This trail system has been a huge part of the success of my business, and had recently brought attention. I have a lease space available. I'm hoping this comes to fruition, a run shop, which would be an ideal position or space for that runner shop. We've had the pleasure at our store to introduce and educate tour riders through this system. We have gotten new riders on starter bikes, and those families come back for better bikes year after year because they're enjoying what they have here in Lapeer to do. I could go on and on about my passion for it.
Sorry, your time's
No, that's
up.
fine. Thank you. Go on all day.
Hi, my name is Jason Buller. I live in Mayfield Township, and on the trail extension as well. I use the trails a lot. I'm also a frequent volunteer out there, and volunteers are what have kept these trails maintained. It's what's going to keep these trails good for everybody in the future. And many of these people, many in here, have spent many hours cutting grass, weed whipping, clearing the trails so the cross-country team can run out there, doing a bunch of work out there. Also helping Chris with the Beaver Bass Dash, raising money specifically for the trails. Unfortunately, volunteers are a finite resource, and they need to stay enthusiastic about the trails. And in order to achieve that, we can't do it alone. Events and fundraisers can only go so far. We need to have the support of the city as well. When you vote, you're not just voting for the trail extension, you're letting all the people know that are spending time out there, that you care about this trail system as well, and you're partnering with the community. So I urge you to vote yes, and keep that excitement going so we have volunteers keep coming and returning and keep them the same in great condition. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gerald Jakey. I live at 85 Rosemary Street here in Lapeer, Michigan. I'm here about the trail system like a lot of us are, and I just wanted to say that One of the reasons why I bought my house is because of its close proximity to the trails. My wife was like, why do we need a house by the trails? And I'm like, you'll see why when I'm not bugging you all the time. So on top of that, my kids have gotten into riding. They love coming out to trail days. They always ask if they can ride in the trail in Peter's truck to go somewhere to work on the trails. It's usually to fight with them on which rake they get to use. But over the years, it's taught them hard work pays off. They see their hard work and the benefits that it brings. They go tell all their friends at the race, hey, I cleared that section or I helped build that. And that's a point of pride for them. And when the new South End was redone recently, my son's always coming out now, almost daily, hey, can we go ride the South Loop, because he loves the new jumps that are there. They're a little easier for him than the big jump line is out front. So I get to spend more quality time with my son, and that's something that you can't put a price on. So I think the trails are great for the community, it's great for families, it's great for anyone who likes to just get outside and be with nature. So hopefully you vote yes on it, but it's up to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Sorry.
I'm going to be quick about the trail also. My name is Rick Patterson. I live in Atlas Township, Genesee County. I come 15 miles to the trail, usually 2 days, 2 days a week, roughly 6 to 8 times a month. This is such a nice gem for this community. Lapeer has a lot going on, but it's always fun. I bring family, I bring friends, neighbors too. We ride the trail. Typically afterwards, we go hit one of the local eating places. I also pace my my chores so that if I have to pick things up, I tend to pick them up here in Lapeer, where typically before I discovered the trail a year and a half ago, I was going to other communities. So I'm an example of what these guys are talking about, coming from a distance to Lapeer. I'm not here, it doesn't affect my taxes, but it does affect how I spend my money and my time. So I think you have a real gem here in Lapeer, and I compliment you on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Okay, we'll continue on then with the rest of the... Sure. Commissioner Petrie.
Holy Spirit, we welcome your presence here. Lord, thank you for the gift of nature that you gave us. Thank you for all your beauty and your creation. If people don't praise your name, the rocks and the trees will. So thank you for what you give us. Lord, we need you. Thank you for each person here. Thank you for each person interested in our city. Thank you for each person that loves our city. Thank you for those who protect us. Lord, we ask that you give us clarity tonight, that you keep our ears wide open. Help us to listen twice and speak once. Lord, help our city to be one that attracts people, not because of trails or art or anything that people see, but your Holy Spirit and the feel that they get here, Lord. Nothing is more important than that. Lord, when I ran for this position, I said to you, I want this to be a shining city on a hill, and I still mean that. Still asking you to make us that. Be with us here tonight. Keep all those here safe on their travels home. Speak to each one of their hearts. Let them know that you are the Creator. I pray a hedge of protection around all of our first responders and all of the people that work in our city with dangerous equipment. Be with each one of us as we're in this meeting, speaking our mind and our thoughts. We pray for your peace, courage where it's needed, and just want to thank you for all the gifts that you've given us. I pray all these things in your precious Son, Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Okay, then we need the official motion to approve the consent agenda, items number 2 and 3. Commissioner Brady.
A motion to approve the consent agenda for August 4th, 2025, items 2 and 3.
Support.
Okay, motion was made by Commissioner Brady and supported by Commissioner Atwood. All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed say no. That motion is carried. Bill listing. Commissioner Brady.
Motion to approve the bill listing for August 4th, 2025 in the amount of $1,127,788.70.
Motion was made by Commissioner Brady and supported by Commissioner Swindell. Is there discussion regarding the bill listing? Okay, hearing none. Roll call vote, please, Ramona.
Commissioner Atwood,
Yes.
Commissioner Brady,
Yes.
Commissioner Glistman,
Yes.
Commissioner Petrie,
Yes.
Commissioner Swindell.
Yes.
Motion's carried. Next one would be under administrative reports, number 1.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of QC550 sewer inspection system from MTech Company for the amount not to exceed $98,919.
Support.
Motion was made by Commissioner Swindell and supported by Commissioner Atwood. Is there discussion on this one? Commissioner Petrie.
One question, and I don't know if it would be for Mike or Ross. We're all set on the trailer. We're good on the trailer. We're set, right? Okay.
Any other?
For the record, Mr. Slusher did give us a thumbs up, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Commissioner Atwood?
Yeah. Well, not, just more of a comment. After seeing what the stuff looks like,
Awesome.
I'd be excited too.
Yeah. I want a demonstration.
Well,
I'm kidding,
before
I'm
it's
kidding,
used,
I'm kidding.
new
I'm kidding.
demonstration
I'm
would be
kidding.
great.
No, ma'am.
It just looks cute. I'm sure it's not, when they're actually doing the work. Okay, so, that's what we definitely.
Yeah.
This will require roll call vote, please, Ramona?
Commissioner Brady.
Yes.
Commissioner Glistman,
Yes.
Commissioner Petrie,
Yes.
Commissioner Swindell,
Yes.
Commissioner Atwood.
Yes.
Motion's carried. And number 2,
Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Swindell?
Make a motion to approve the road professional services construction and engineering agreement for the M24 tunnel connection project for an amount not to exceed $125,250 and authorize the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Cemetery to sign necessary documents.
A second.
Okay, motion was made by Commissioner Swindell and supported by Commissioner Petrie. Is there discussion on this one? Commissioner Petrie?
I do have a couple of questions.
Sure.
I was wondering, it says that MDOT picks the contractor. I wondered if our row engineers got to have any input on that, choosing the contractor.
Paul, could
Mr.
you answer
O'Meara?
that for us, please?
Hello, Paul O'Meara from Rowe. I would say that we have very little discretion on that. As long as the low bidder meets their pre-qualifications, there's not much we can say.
Okay, so if there were something to go awry or not perfect, does that fall in MDOT's lap, Rowe's lap, or the city's lap?
It's a contract between MDOT and the contractor, so it would be MDOT's role to pursue
Okay.
damages.
And the one thing in the contract talks about restoration of landscaping.
Yes.
MDOT takes care of that?
Actually, it's all within the contract. There's a pay item called cultivation and watering for 2 years that goes on. So
Okay.
even after the project's officially finished this fall, the contractor will be on the hook to make sure it's being nurtured for another 2 years.
And the fence and everything that we have there, everything will be put back as by MDOT. Am I correct on that?
You mean like the fence along M24?
Right,
I don't think that's actually being disturbed anywhere, but we are actually adding more fence to kind of fence off the property that was acquired.
Okay. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Brady?
That goes right into my question. I'm on the switchback, on the big round end of the switchback, I see that there's under drain, like I'm assuming like a French drain style. So it's going to shed water down and around the side, and then there's also one for that lower portion of the pathway. Okay, because it's just a very wet area, so it's good to see that. Is there a barrier? Is there any fencing? You just mentioned fencing being added. Is that up along the property line of the acquired property?
Yeah, that's more to make sure that the public doesn't get into the neighboring private property.
Okay, what about towards upstream on the river? Does the fencing continue that way?
Upstream, like to the
West.
further to the west?
Yeah.
No, that's outside of the project.
Okay, so it's just gonna be open, well, it's woods and there's
Right.
no development at all in there, it's
Right.
just, okay. That was my question, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, are there any other questions? Commissioner Atwood?
Yeah, just clarification on the chain link fence. Is that allowed per our planning ordinance? Or is it a different type of fencing than what's stated?
You mean as what type of fencing is permissible?
Yeah, because we don't allow chain link fence, right?
I guess I'd have to look and see what the difference might be between our engineering specs, which is what Roe has been
Right.
working off of, and maybe if there's a conflict with what our city ordinances say. Honestly, I haven't looked at our fence ordinance, that's something the building department handles for us, but I see chain link fence throughout the community. Is it something that's just not permitted from a commercial or industrial perspective, is that what you think?
No, but that would really.
Yeah, if I remember, I thought we do not allow chain link fence anymore.
In the front yard.
Tree.
Mr.
I could be
Church,
wrong
do
on
you
the
have a
specifics.
Answer for us?
I can refer to the building official.
Yes, chain link fences are allowed in the city. There's placement restrictions, just
Okay.
like any other fence.
Okay. Thank you.
If I can just add, in order to picture it, we'll be using the same type of black vinyl coated fence that was used for the dog park.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, are we good? Thank you.
Mr. O'Meara.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, I believe that it's a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Glistman?
Yes.
Commissioner Petrie?
Yes.
Commissioner Swindell?
Yes.
Commissioner Atwood?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Okay, now for G3, the Oakdale Trails Extension.
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Swindell.
make a motion to approve Trail Sense LLC's proposal for the Oakdale Trail Extension Project for an amount not to exceed $65,000 and authorize the Director of Lapeer Parks, Recreation, and Cemetery to prepare and execute the agreement on behalf of the city.
Support.
Motion was made by Commissioner Swindell and supported by Commissioner Atwood. Is there discussion regarding this one?
I have a question. I know that Tiff has given us the 40,000 toward it, and Mr. Turner generously is giving the 25.
Great for a cause.
Oh, crank for a call. Why wouldn't we ask Tiff for more?
I guess that's a question for the TIFA board, which meets Wednesday. So I don't know why. My assumption is that, Mr. Church, correct me if I'm wrong on this, the original quote that we got for the anticipated work was for 40,000. So that's why we went to the TIFA board, asked them for 40,000, and they approved of the 40,000. Obviously, the quote that we just got recently was for 65,000. We weren't able to go back to the TIFA board in between getting the quote and then bringing it to the commission for approval. If necessary and appropriate, we can go back to the TIFA board and say, hey, look, here was the overage. Are you interested in paying that extra money? But as you have indicated, Cranford Claus has already stepped up to the plate and have offered to donate their 25. Which then, obviously, for the TIFA board, saves them the 25 for other future projects.
And is the additional 25 just because of the low-lying wet area?
I don't know how Trail Sense just came up with their numbers. I know it was outlined in their the proposal that they gave to us. But on a per item basis and a per footage basis, I don't know what caused the difference between the original 40 estimate and the current 65 estimate.
Okay, could you just explain to the audience and the public why we don't have 3 bids for this and why we decided to go with Josh? Just for clarification and transparency.
Sure, and then Mr. Church, again, step in if I misspeak, but my understanding is that in years past, it has not been done this way. I believe in a transparent government. So I said, well, we're going to do it according to our policies, and our policy, requires that we attempt to get 3 bids. So we sent the RFP out to 6 6 different trail groups. We heard back from 3. One of them indicated looks like a great project, but they were so tied up, it would be, 18 months or 24 months before they can get to us. And one indicated that they didn't feel like they could put an offer in or a bid in for various reasons. So that left us with the one remaining company, which is TrailSense. And TrailSense has done, I believe, all the previous work here in this community. So we did attempt to get 6.
Do we just have that in writing though, so that the public sees we did try? We're not just saying.
It's outlined in the memo that was
Yeah.
presented to the board, and of course,
Yeah.
Mr. Church has all of the records related to it.
Yep, just wanted to clarify that.
Yep, thank you.
Commissioner Brady?
I just want to take the moment to maybe just restate that we really should have an updated trail and non-motorized plan in place. This is like I thought the trails were done, and when I heard about this one, it makes sense to me. I like getting it out to the expressway. It's like a billboard. I don't know where the finish line is, and it's hard to secure the funding for it. When we go to talk to Tifa, it's like, are we just, how does that work? This is a long road, and I'd like to see, there are lots of little connections that we need to connect the people in the city to the trails. And this one's great. It's going to add great miles. It's a great, Josh and I went out, Mr. Atwood and I went out and rode it just to see that wet spot, and it's a fun section to ride, and there's going to be features that are out there. I would really like to see us make sure that we have a long-term plan, really connect some of these missing segments that we have, in addition to doing whatever the plan, whoever writes the plan, puts in there for mountain bike specific trail extensions.
Mayor, may I respond to that?
Please.
So it's almost like Mr. Brady and I talk occasionally. One of the things that we've done this week, staff have done this week, is apply for a grant which would update our master plan and our non-motorized plan. Current non-motorized plan is from March of 2012. I think it's in desperate need of updating. And frankly, I don't agree with some of the parts that are in that plan. I think we need to get greater public participation and input on that plan, so that we can have some common sense development of the non-motorized access. I mean, we had somebody tell us today that it's hard to get down to Kroger's. I agree with that. If we're talking about developing the city into a 15-minute city where people can take their bike to the grocery store, I think we need to do a better job of not just the mountain bike trails, but just intra-city pedestrian access altogether. So, to be announced shortly, I'm sure that hopefully we get that grant.
Okay. Anything else from the commission? Okay, Commissioner Atwood.
Yeah, I'd just like to take the time to thank all the volunteers that go out there and put forth the man and women hours out there. Sometimes it's not easy, especially in the summer when it's hot and you're carrying heavy equipment. But from what it sounds like in the room, that you guys want more work to do and more stuff to volunteer for. So whenever you get that, it's hard to say no to volunteers that thoroughly enjoy coming to the city and spending some money in our wonderful town. To me, it is about economics as well. I mean, we have a newer bike shop here in town. I would like to say that is definitely part of what we've done in the past with our ecotourism. And, people do come to our city for this and ride, and they get hungry and sweaty, so they need a beverage or food afterwards, or their equipment breaks. I've heard some tires hit a rock or something out there and pop when I'm out there riding. But no, it's a good thing. And I do agree, we do need a long-term plan so we can better prioritize funding and what the priorities are, and more public input as well. So it's not just us trying to guess where we think things should go, and turns out it's in the wrong direction or not where people wanted it. So thank you all for coming tonight, and thank you for all your hard work. And that's all.
Okay. I do have one more comment.
Okay.
I'd like to prioritize a project to finish the sidewalk so it wouldn't be so hard to get to Kroger from Chatfield School or wherever you're going. It dead ends. There's a crosswalk that puts people into the street that I had somebody call and say, hey, that was dangerous. We thought it would blink red and it didn't. It blinks yellow. So I'd like to prioritize that, finish that so that it is a full circle. You can get all the way around on bike or foot, stroller, whatever, so.
Okay. I think we're ready for a roll call vote, please, Ramona.
Commissioner Petrie,
Yes.
Commissioner Swindell,
Yes.
Commissioner Atwood,
Yes.
Commissioner Brady,
Yes.
Commissioner Glidden.
Yes.
Motion's carried. Thank you. Okay, for the mural project number G4,
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Swindell.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the mural project artwork as presented and authorize the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Cemetery to prepare and sign the agreement.
Motion's been made. Is there support?
Support.
Motion was made by Commissioner Swindell and supported by Commissioner Atwood. Is there discussion on this motion? Commissioner Petrie.
I do have some questions about it. I think the artwork is beautiful. I think the artist is fantastic. I have questions about why the rush. Last I knew, we were talking about art on the trail. Now it got transferred to the Pocket Park and around the Pix Theater. I watched the DDA meeting. I was not able to be there, but I watched it on video, and they had a very small group this time. They had enough for a quorum, but wasn't a full representation of the DDA team. And I just heard some disagreement on this particular thing. I am not an artist. I love art. My son is a trumpet player, and I knew it wasn't Miles Davis, so I said, who is that? He didn't know, and he usually knows most famous and infamous trumpet players. And so I do have a problem with putting a human on there that we don't know who it is. If it was Miles Davis or somebody that was recognizable, I'd be like, oh, that's Miles Davis. But I don't want to spend $12,000 on artwork that people go, who is that? Why did we put that on there? The Pix Theater isn't a jazz club. We aren't New Orleans. I want it to be good. There's a microphone on there from, I think, the 40s. We never had a microphone at the Pix. It's always been a movie house. I know it's transitioned to some other things. And I think Crystal Cook is a fantastic artist. I'm not saying that at all. One of the members of the DDA mentioned to have a human in there, you're focusing on the human. You do. When you look at that mural, you go right to the human. And I think it doesn't represent the Pix. We may have had jazz people perform there, and we may in the future. But I've lived here my whole life, so I know the rears of the buildings. I know it's the Pix Theater. But people coming through town, we're going to make it a two-way street. They don't know that's the Pix Theater, the rear of it. Why not put something on the rear of it like the Pix marquee? It's always been the Pix marquee. It's known for that. Let the imagination of those that see it think about things happening at the Pix Theater. And I saw it in color for the first time. Rodney brought pictures, and it's very, and I think somebody in the meeting also said, it's just very bland and brown, and I want people to notice it. And so I don't want to rush. I know we have to have the funds used by June 30th of next year. We're getting into the fall here in another month. We can have rainy weather in the fall, we can have rainy weather in the spring. I don't want to rush into, hurry, we've got to use this money, we've got to go with this artist. I think we talked about it up here, about having an art commission with people that are degreed in that. And I know Jim is, and I know Jill Wines is, and I just have questions about putting something up that won't, it's not a poster that we can just remove and it will be there for a long time. So I'd like it to be something that everybody that lives in Lapeer and that comes to Lapeer go, oh, that's beautiful, I want to look at it, instead of, who is that? I don't know who it is. I mean, it's not Louis Armstrong, it's not Miles Davis, and he's probably a talented person, but it's not what represents Lapeer. Now, I'm just gonna say this because I'm old, but Terry Knight and the Grand Funk Railroad are from Lapeer. So if we're gonna put a famous person on there, why not tie Grand Funk Railroad back to Lapeer? That's where it came from. And we still have Grand Trunk Railroad with the depot that we use, so I'm not trying to decide what your art is. I'm saying, why have a human on there that takes over the whole, any human would take over the whole artwork. And I don't know that that's, that's my thought.
Commissioner Brady?
I think she covered just about everything I was thinking about it. I don't love the rush. I think that DDA's got another meeting. They could get back to us by our second meeting in August with revised plans, but we also gotta, that's tricky, right? Because we want to be able to lock in some detail that is going to come before us and we can approve.
I will double check with Jim Alt, but I think this funding is it October, the end of October? Is it June?
June 30th.
The funding doesn't have to be spent until the end of June, the end of the fiscal year. The challenge it gets into, you have a limited time frame of when the weather is going to potentially be ideal for the artist. You don't want an artist out there in freezing temperatures, not only for the artist, but also just for the medium itself. You don't want overly wet weather. You need kind of ideal conditions. So the time frame that we're really looking at that's ideal for the artist is kind of September, October, maybe into early November. After that, it gets to be challenging.
I'm sorry, and the question is, when is your next meeting?
Our next meeting would actually be after your meeting this month. We do not meet until the fourth Wednesday of the month. So then you get into the challenge of, we don't meet until the end of August, which means the soonest we can get anything back to you, we're already into
September 1st. But that would mean a working relationship with the artist, so she'd be prepared if the discussion continues up until then. It's just a matter of, okay, go ahead. So we could be giving the go-ahead September, our first meeting in September, I think.
Madam Mayor, may I put in for a second? So, I guess my concern is, staff has brought a couple of art pieces to this board for approval, and we've had difficulty getting approval. This might be something prime for maybe a subcommittee, because if we keep waiting for the DDA or the staff or somebody to come up with some option that this board might approve of, it could be kingdom come, I don't know. I think maybe we need to have a subcommittee so that outside of these meetings, somebody could meet with the DDA director, meet with the artist, whatever it takes to come up with an option that might work for this board.
Madam Mayor?
I think Commissioner Glissman wanted to talk first.
Oh, I thought it was still my turn. I just had gotten answers from a couple of different people. I'm sorry.
Commissioner Glissman, then I'll go back to you.
Okay. Commissioner Petrie, she was very kind in saying that she wasn't the artist, but most people know what they like or don't like, or they know how to interpret it for their city. I have a master's degree in art, fine arts and painting. I studied in Italy, so I feel like I have a little bit of expertise in this area. I don't think this mural represents Lapeer. I have nothing against the mural as is, but I don't see it as a fit for us. I see it down, as Commissioner Petrie said, in New Orleans. It has that kind of mood to it. I would rather, and I don't even know if the artist came to Lapeer to talk to us about Lapeer and see what we like, love, our history. I think that's what the artist needs to do. Be here, absorb our history, absorb what we think, what we like, and then make a rendition that kind of visually explains who we are, what our heart is, what our soul is. This doesn't do it for me one bit. And it's nothing against the technique. The technique that the artist employs is beautiful. She's very well versed in painting, and she does a lot of large murals across the country. She did Farrah Fawcett down in Texas. She's done some things in Flint. So she's well known, and probably for as well known as she is, the $11,000, $12,000 is probably within the parameters of being moderately paid for her. But I think when we're going to put up a mural that we want to stay and last for a long time, it needs to represent the heart and soul of Lapeer and reflect what we are about, not what New Orleans or a jazz club is about, but what we are about. So that's what I wanted to say.
Commissioner Brady.
I'd like to volunteer, and maybe Mrs. Glissman would like to volunteer to be on that subcommittee. I think it'd be good also to get Joe Lyons, Jim Alt on board, plus the subcommittee of the DDA board that had already put in some of the decision-making.
I was on that. I don't know if I'm allowed to speak or not, but, so I'm on the placemaking committee and was part of this decision process. We did look at a number of renditions. One of them was a ballerina. Great form, great, we all liked it, but we felt like it didn't reflect what the PIX does. There aren't that many dance performances there. We were going with a musical performance because that's what is there. We were trying to reflect the history. I don't believe it is meant to be a specific famous trumpet player, and I'm not honestly even sure if we could put somebody up there without their permission. I don't know. But we were just going for some sort of musical feel, and also to reflect, you'll notice that it has the film along the bottom, the film that has been shown there, the musical part. We have a quote that is going to go on there. Thank you, Mr. Womack. I appreciate that. I know one of the considerations was that it was very brown, and the thought was that we would probably add some color to it in the final rendition.
So it just feels like a difficult position right now for me to be in to say, yes, let's do this, when it doesn't feel like the DDA board was unanimous. After reviewing the meeting, it felt like there was some questions from the board at large. I certainly have questions. The other commissioners that have spoken tonight have questions. We don't even, where does the quote go? Right? It's a kind of a lengthy quote. Where does it land on that? So it's very difficult for me to say, yep, go paint that. Get the artist in here, the check, write the check, get the artist painting tomorrow without really feeling solid about the design. So if we vote on this and I vote no, that'll be my reason.
Okay. Commissioner Elwood.
Yeah, to clarify, I did watch the meeting. I do kind of agree that it does need a splice of color. But, I mean, as far as I know, we got to remember something as commissioners. Like, we set the policy, we approve funding. Design and execution should be left to the appointed boards and the staff. As far as I know, as a commissioner, that has been followed. I just want to thank the DDA staff for their work on this project. And from what I watched of the meeting, everybody has a different perspective on what art is. So what I think is art, I would love to see the A-team on the back of the picture, or the because that's just my cup of tea. But so I might have a different perspective on what this might look like. Does it say Lapeer? Does it capture Lapeer? I mean, there's a lot of art that's supposed to be. It doesn't specifically make you say like this is Lapeer. Our sign out there does. And just like that, some people would say, well, yeah, that's terrible or that's great. But to me, it warms my heart when kids are out there taking selfies by it to where they're finding their identity. This is my home. It's Lapeer. I can identify with that sign. I mean, this is art. Art, someone might say that's beautiful, someone might say that's the worst thing I've ever seen. But keep in mind, we're paying 10% of this, which is $900 some dollars. It's a grant. From what I gather from the meeting, they're gonna go ahead and do it anyways, whether we approve or not approve. And as our commissioner, our primary role, like I said, is to set policy, oversee funding, not to direct artistic decisions once the process has been followed. The DDA has approved the design, the artist was selected based on experience, and the city is contributing a small portion of the overall cost, and I believe we should respect the process and support the project as it's presented. As discussed during the meeting, I believe James, Jill, and Rodney will try and work with the artist with the coloring. Some other stuff might be adjusted, but I have to put my trust in the board members that we appointed. Within that, there is other boards underneath that. They represent our DDA, which I am a part of as well. I live downtown, and that's why we have these boards and commissions, so we don't have all the power and control. As we see, a lot of things would not get done. So, I think that's my 2 cents on the matter. I'm getting tired of talking about art. I mentioned that we do need a policy in place if we're going to continue to talk about artists, what we feel is art, not art. Again, that's why we have boards and commissions to help with that stuff. But we need to give some direction so artists are not leaving in droves. I think we're stirring up confusion within the community and our other boards and committees, and we need to be careful what we say at our public meetings.
Commissioner Brady.
So if, just hypothetically, if we were to not approve, does the grant money carry over? What specifically are we approving or not approving?
Mr. Alt, if you could, but just before you do, I think the expectation is that there's still going to be a little bit more revision before final approval. Mr. Alt, do you have any comment?
Yeah, as far as the final design, it's to work with the artist and make some tweaks, make some adjustments. As far as the funding, I'm going to let Shelley answer that, because she understands that.
Shelley? Thank you.
So with this grant, it's through the city.
Can you identify yourself, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Shelley, I'm the grant administrator at the housing department, sorry about that. So when we got this grant, it was a public amenity grant. So it does run through the end of this fiscal year. If you decide not to use this funds for the mural, we have to then go back to the funding source and say, we want to do this for something else. We've already done this once because the first mural was supposed to be on the building that they're going to be doing the new building for the Tilted Access or Patrick, the wood chips building.
At the end of the street?
Yeah, we were going to do it there, but then because they're going to build that new building, we didn't want to put a mural there and waste the money. So we moved it to the Pocket Park because we thought that'd be a great area to put it. So if we don't use this money towards that, then we have to go back for a change order. They could deny it. They may let me do it. It's up to Mishta at that point.
I don't know if that addressed my question. Does the DDA get the money
No.
if we were to say no? So the DDA, when
It's up to Mr.
It's up to Mishta.
To decide.
DDA doesn't get the money. We wrote the grant that way.
the question is, what Mr. Atwood's comment was, they're going to do it anyway.
Well,
Our discussion was if it's not going to be in that location, there could well be another location
So
that's not on that building.
So again, let me interject just for a second. Mr. Alt, correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's a possibility that the DDA is going to do this mural whether they get this funding or not. So they might find an alternative source of money to do this mural.
To what, I'm sorry to interrupt, to what amount? $12,000 or?
Well, my assumption would be that they have the artist with the price quote already, so that they would go out and fundraise for that dollar amount, which would then put us into a position of having to go through the whole process again and find new artists, new location, new art.
Not just the same, the Mishta money
Correct.
would have to be new artist, new location.
Correct.
We could get twice the amount of art.
If they're able to fundraise for that dollar amount for that mural at that location.
Is there a middle ground? Is there a paint the flowers on the Pocket Park side, but leave the back of the building where it needs to be, or the way it is option?
I mean, if you're looking for my input is we put together a subcommittee that works with Mr. Alt's team to identify a way to add some color, change some things up to
I
make
volunteer.
See, you got him before my joke, come on now. I was gonna ask if we could have Mr. T using the trumpet there. Would that get a vote over here?
No, because he doesn't play the trumpet. Well, maybe he does, I don't know.
In the A team, I'm sure he does. Yeah, I think that's probably the best political way to move forward, is to get some buy-in from this board and the subcommittee.
How would you propose doing that?
Have a subcommittee be appointed to work with this team, Mr. Alt's team, to identify some changes that would make this mural acceptable to the city commission.
Madam Mayor, can I make that motion?
I think
There's a motion on the table.
floor.
I need some clarification. Is there a deadline on when we have to present the art to Mishta to receive funds?
I think it's
Or is
sometime
that-
before June 30 next year, right?
Of next year?
But there's also a timeline of whether we want to get this mural done this year. I mean, you know, it's Michigan, we could have snow flying in September.
And in June.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, it's Michigan, you gotta roll with it.
This is just coming to us August.
I'm sure, this is just my opinion, I'm sure if we have an identified artist and all the things ready to go in the spring, that Michigan would hold the money for us as we wait for the weather. It's just my gut feeling. I don't think the Michigan side is the difficulty here. I think the difficulty here is, you know, this board, and I'm agreeing with all of you. I think you all have great points. I think this board needs to kind of put its head down and say, well, here's how we want to move forward. I'm just presenting the subcommittee as a possibility of getting political buy-in from this board. Along with Mr. T.
So I think we've had the discussion that is needed. It is not a roll call vote, so,
Madam Mayor, I think it should be.
because it is money.
Yes.
Okay. I'm corrected. You're right, though. It definitely is. It's just not on here, so, okay, would you please go ahead?
Commissioner Swindell,
Yes.
Commissioner Atwood,
Yes.
Commissioner Brady,
No?
Commissioner Glistman,
No.
Commissioner Petrie.
No.
Motion's failed. Okay. Now,
Madam Mayor?
Commissioner Brady?
I'd like to make a motion to form a subcommittee for the use of spending the Mishta money, $12,000, for artwork to finalize the artwork concept and location with Ms. Glissman and myself, along with Ms. Lyons, Mr. Alt, and the DDA subcommittee that's already put in some work.
Support.
Motion was made by Commissioner Brady and supported by Commissioner Glissman. Is there any further discussion regarding the subcommittee? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed, say no.
No.
Motion's carried. Okay,
Thank you all.
city manager's report, Mr. Womack.
As much as I'd like to do that,
We need G5.
Oh, yes, G5.
G5.
I always forget that. Back to
Point of
the,
privilege, Madam Mayor. Is it possible to let some of these bikers get out of here if they want to?
well, you guys enjoyed this though, right? Come on.
this is kind of an entertaining ride.
I'm not asking for more recess, just enough time for them to get out if they need to.
Anybody can leave at any time, in any meeting.
We enjoy having you here, but you don't have to.
Except for you. Thank you for being here, appreciate it. Okay. G5, what was your question, Mr.
Is there anybody here representing HTC?
No, but I can maybe give you some background.
Okay, great.
Maybe.
My question was, looking through the paperwork, they've been here for quite some time, I think 1979 maybe, at least in our county.
Oh, I don't know, but
60s.
I don't think it was 79.
Well, they became exempt. Their exemption was in '66.
yeah.
I was working for them in the 2000s. They used to have it at the courthouse lawn. And I don't know why they have moved it. It could be because the courthouse lawn may not be big enough anymore.
For the event?
Or the construction.
Is that what you're saying for the event?
Yes.
Okay, because according to Jeremy, it says, I believe this is a new event. So have we
Well,
never
it's a
had
new
it?
one that's well, if it was on the courthouse lawn, it wouldn't come to the city.
Oh,
I just haven't seen it since my tenure,
okay.
and going through the files, in the computer.
Okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been here.
Okay. And do you know, like, their goal is to bring awareness to the agency's services and give out free school supplies. But in the past, do you know how they've brought awareness to their agency, or is it?
Well,
through-
they've set up tables. Well, they have several different mailings, I'm sure. You know, there's a lot of families that attend like Early Head Start and some other programs.
And so do you think that's their target?
And there's
audience?
ads.
Okay.
Oh, it's always children and families.
Well, this one is for the free school supplies, and I know they do other things, housing and
Yeah,
elder,
this one is
senior.
for the, it's not.
Okay. That was my question. I tried to call several.
Did you call the Lapeer office?
Yeah, I did, and I left a message, and I didn't hear back, but Janice was able to clarify a lot for me. I just wondered, when I read that we've never had it before, I'm like, gosh, they've been here all this time, why did we never?
I don't think it's in 79, that's original from Carroll. The Carroll is the main office. Lapeer is a
66.
Well, they're in
sub-office.
several counties. I just wondered in the Lapeer why they had.
4 counties.
Yeah.
Unless they grew. They could have grown.
That was I wanted to just clarify for people, that they do work with several counties and that it isn't necessarily a new commission. It's just maybe the first time they did it this way.
Right.
Okay.
Commissioner Brady?
Do we have a motion? May I make a motion?
Yes.
Motion to approve the special event for the Human Development Commission HDC Fun Fair, Tuesday, August 19th, 2025, Crampton Park, from 1 PM to 4 PM.
Support.
Okay, motion was made by Commissioner Brady and supported by Commissioner Glizman. Is there further discussion?
And Mayor, if I may, so I'm just looking at their webpage. It indicates that they're involved with Early Head Start, assisting families from birth to 3 years. They support victims of elder abuse. They're involved with housing programs. I'm sure Ms. Olzinski is aware of that. They're a housing resource call center if you're facing eviction or homelessness. And they also apparently assist with self-sufficiency, connecting individuals with public and private resources in their community.
Yes, they do. But I don't think, well, things could have changed. I've been gone 11 years. So things could have changed, so I shouldn't speak that they're not going to have additional things.
That's what was on the website.
Yeah, I see that. Okay, so any other questions? Okay. All those in favor of the motion, say yes.
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 Opposed, say no. That motion's carried. Okay. Now, would you please give your manager's report?
I'd be happy to, thank you. As you guys are aware, there is a conference coming up, and part of that conference involves, let's see here, somebody being appointed as an official voting member at that conference. This is the MML Annual Meeting Convention. And I guess I would ask that you guys appoint Mr. Joshua Atwood to be the official member and the city manager Mike Womack as the alternate voting member.
I agree.
Well, that's what I was going to suggest, that the mayor pro tem be the official voting member, which is Commissioner Atwood.
May I make a motion? Motion to appoint Joshua Atwood to be the designated official voting member on behalf of the city of Lapeer at the MML Annual Meeting Convention, and the city manager, Mike Womack, shall serve as the alternate voting member.
Support.
Motion was made by Commissioner Brady and supported by Commissioner Glistman. Is there any further discussion? Commissioner Petrie.
I just wanted to know what other alternative, it would have to be somebody that attended from our commission, right? But-
Yeah.
But those are the only two.
Yeah, right.
And then like what kind of things will you be voting on for our city?
So as a member of the league, each one has a delegate, and so they vote on whether to approve or not approve, like the direction of the league itself, whether it be policy, our goals and objectives, just gives the league direction. And me as a board of trustees and the whole board of trustees are there as well during that meeting.
Do you already have a voting position then, or you'll?
I'm able to represent, because I don't take any action during that meeting, or the board doesn't. It's the delegates who do it.
So you can still.
And then our attorney runs that portion of it. So if there's any questions the delegates might have, they can ask at that time. And then John Lamacchia, our head lobbyist, is there to answer questions as well, and all the league staff is there.
Mr. Atwood, we discussed that very issue before appointing you today, or offering to appoint you today. Did you talk to somebody at the league about your ability to serve as primary delegate?
I did when we didn't have representation there a couple of years. I just asked them if I could do it, and they can't do it. So it's not an issue.
Never used to be either, so. Any further questions? We should have an official motion.
But I'm not sure if I can vote for myself.
Is there a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a motion.
You vote, I'm fine with you voting.
Okay.
Would you generally vote in those situations? I don't know if there's practice for appointing, for this board, for appointing members. I don't have an issue with you voting in this.
Okay, that was it.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. That motion's carried.
You can just
Do you have anything else for us this evening?
Yep, so the only other thing, which I'll repeat from earlier, is I applied for a grant this week to help us update our master plan and our non-motorized plans. We should hear back from RRC, I think it was, soon, which I'm very happy that this grant opportunity became available to us, because surprisingly, master plan updating is very expensive and takes a lot of time. So I'll let you guys know the second I know about whether we got approved for that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Or city attorney's report?
Mayor, the only thing I'd add is that it looks like we'll be closing on the freshwater garden land swap this week.
Okay.
So I had you sign some documents
Yes.
earlier, and there's a couple of tweaks to some closing paperwork, but that should be resolved, so.
Great, thank you. Okay, then under unfinished business, first for the planning commission then, I would like to reappoint Catherine Bostic-Tullius to the planning commission for a 3-year term. And I need
Mayor,
2 supports. Commissioner Swindell.
I would make a motion to reappoint Catherine Bostic-Tullius to the Planning Commission with the term ending August 1st, 2028.
Support.
Okay. Motion was made by Commissioner Swindell and supported by Commissioner Atwood. Any discussion regarding that? Okay, all those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed, say no. That motion is carried. And then we need a motion to accept the resignation of Ashley Fanson from Lapeer Downtown Development Authority and declare that seat vacant.
I move that we accept the resignation of Ashley Fanson and declare it vacant in the DDA.
Motion was made by Commissioner Petrie and supported by Commissioner Brady. Is there discussion regarding that? Okay, hearing none then. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. That motion's carried. Thank you. In your package, you have the opportunity to read the departmental communications. And we're back to public comments. Is there anybody out there who'd like to make a public comment at this time? Lady in the back.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kelly Nolan. I wanted to speak to you on a matter that's very concerning to many of us in the community. The Lapeer District Library Board member, John DeAngelis, has breached his fiduciary duty to the LDL Board of Trustees. We call for his resignation. On Saturday, July 19th, 2025, DeAngelis worked at the Axe My Tax booth at Mayfield Tavern. He collected signatures on the Axe My Tax petition for a constitutional amendment to prohibit real and personal property taxes, currently the primary funding source for counties, municipalities, schools, community colleges, parks, and voter-approved bond repayment. This is not the first time DeAngelis has demonstrated his support for Axe My Tax. Property taxes are the primary funding source for the Lapeer District Library, almost 90%. As a trustee, DeAngelis has a fiduciary responsibility for the library and a duty to protect it for future generations. Axing property taxes would eliminate almost 90% of the library's funding, endangering the library's existence. And for that reason, I refuse to call him a trustee. He has not earned it. Is it wrong for DeAngelis to promote Axe My Tax on his own time? Yes, because he took an oath. When DeAngelis swore an oath to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of Michigan, and to faithfully perform the duties of a library trustee, he was promising to act in the best interest of the library. In seeking to eliminate property taxes, DeAngelis is also seeking to defund the Lapeer District Library, which is a direct and severe violation of his oath. John DeAngelis has breached his fiduciary duties to the Lapeer District Library. We call for his immediate resignation. I know all of you have taken an oath, and all of you feel that your oath is extremely important. So you will probably agree with me that oaths should be taken seriously by anyone who takes them. And Mayor Marquardt, I wish to let you know that we immensely miss Bill, and if you could share that with him.
I will, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. So before I get to the fireworks cleanup, oh, Karen Brasheco. I live in Metamora, by the way. So actually, that mural surprised me today because I hadn't even seen the picture or heard much about it. But the best show I ever saw at the Pix was Thornetta Davis, a Detroit blues singer who I've loved for decades, came, and that would actually encapsulate that moment for me. And blues comes from, or blues preceded jazz, or however you want to see it, and jazz was everybody's music for a long time. So certainly jazz is playing at my house right now, by the way, and I'm not even there. All right, so the fireworks. I wanted to thank folks up here for making sure that got cleaned up. That was, the fireworks were July 12th, and cleanup was the 13th in the morning. And Commissioner Atwood deserves the biggest thanks because he was over in one corner for hours picking up, it seemed to be the debris from the fireworks themselves blew over there, which I've never seen before. There were cardboard pieces all over the parking lot and all over the grass, and he said he sniffed it and smelled gunpowder, and it makes sense that that's what it was. And just, there are heavy metals that come from those fireworks. This was a big news story around the 4th, and they get into the lakes and stuff, so it was very good that we picked that up. There was a man from the Parks Department driving around making sure things got cleaned up. Really appreciated that. And I will say the fireworks were not well attended based on what I saw. I was not anywhere near it. I go to bed early so I can get up and clean up in the morning. But apparently there were not a lot of people there. It is still absolutely worth all of us showing up, because even if that area just gets a good cleanup once a year that day, it was worth it. But you never know, because it was just a few years ago that the garbage cans were overflowing and there was just stuff all over. I will say we need people who are careful and slow cleaning up, because there were folks who came through and they came through because there's no coordination of who's cleaning up what, and they came through some of the areas where I had already cleaned up and said, oh, there's nothing to do. But then they walked past, umpteen pieces of trash, so it takes being careful. One thing that I do want to mention is that the porta-johns that are out, so in the southeast corner of Genesee and McCormick or DeMille, whatever it is there, in that field, that's where typically most people have parked and there's the most trash. There were 2 porta-johns out there, but neither of them were ADA compliant. And this is just something I know from renting hundreds and hundreds of porta-johns over the years. You always want at least one ADA compliant unit, no matter where else. So anyway, just thank you very much for making sure that got taken care of. Thanks.
Thank you. Chris?
Yeah. Again, Chris Turner, I just want to thank you guys for approving that trail expansion. I'm excited. James, James, go.
He left, so.
I'm really excited about this Back to Bricks. I think it's going to be an awesome thing. I hope it works out really, really well because it sounds like they may come back year after year, if I'm not mistaken. So that's super exciting. And thank you, Mr. Womack, for getting that ball rolling on that new master plan. That's very, very exciting to hear. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll go into the commissioner comments this evening. Commissioner Swindell.
Thank you all for coming and speaking and volunteering and helping to make our city a better place. Thank you to Crank for a Cause and your board members for using the funds raised directly back into our trails. It is greatly appreciated by many, many, many who use the trails. I don't bike, y'all have seen my bike, but I know it's greatly appreciated, and I do walk out there occasionally. But what a great community partnership it's been since the very beginning, before there were trails and there was, you know, Peter and some slave labor with his students, right? My students were part of that slave labor for Ed, and I am so glad to see it grow and have come so far. And without all of you guys and all of the others that Tim Datsko and Bert and we wouldn't have this great amenity here, and that's just wonderful. I am thankful every day for all of your support. I am deeply disappointed and disgusted that once again we have art, but it's not good enough for this commission, and we turn it down. This is not the first time or the second time or even the third time, and it's just disheartening. And we are gonna have the reputation that we don't like art, we don't want art, we need to have all the control. We'll echo what Josh said. Our job is to approve the budget and make the policy, not to micromanage, not to tell the DDA placemaking, the DDA board who voted on it, and the placemaking committee in place that we appoint the DDA board as a commission, and we appoint them to help us make these decisions. This is not a full-time job. It's not. And we make policy, approve the budget, period. So we just, once again, discredited any boards that we have appointed. We don't trust these people to make decisions. We don't like art. What if it has a rainbow? Oh my goodness, there's a jazz player with a trumpet. We don't come with solutions. We just say no, and it makes me sick. That's it.
Okay. Commissioner Petrie.
Wow. I do trust all of our boards, but I was elected to have an opinion and oversee what happens in our city. So everybody has an opinion. I came out and said I'm not an artist, but I've heard from enough people, and I did watch the DDA meeting. I don't know if you did, Commissioner Swindoll, but there wasn't a unanimous feeling, and so I think even one comment was, how mad will you be if we go ahead and do this? And I don't want anybody to be mad about it. I want our whole community to go, I love it. Yeah. And so tweaking, I don't want to not approve art. I want it to be what the majority loves. So I think in this commission we spoke before about having an art committee, that was qualified that could help choose the art. It wasn't that we don't want art. I think everybody loves art, but let's have qualified people. I'm not. I've said that straight out. I'm not. I don't know if you are, Josh. I don't know if Commissioner Swindoll is. But I know that Jill has an art degree. I know that Linda has an art degree. I know that Jim has an art degree. So I would like to see the people that have the experience in that make those decisions. I'm just gonna answer to my constituents that say to me, why'd you guys do that? I want to have a good answer of why we did that. So while I am here to make policy and approve budgets, I'm here for that. A lot of things fall under those two labels. The other thing is, I'm grateful for all those that came to pick up at the fireworks too. I know that the Republican Party had a lot of volunteers that came and helped. Anybody that volunteers is a great asset. I was not able to be there this year. I didn't get to go to the fireworks either. But I appreciate that. I appreciate all that Nita did to work on that and provide that for our city. So I think everybody should pick up their garbage wherever they're at. My 97-year-old mother has taught her kids, leave a place better than you found it. So I wish that we could get that out there. Some little signs out there that pick up your garbage. So thank you for all the trailblazers that came and expressed your love for our city and compassion for nature. Appreciate it. I myself have not ridden out there because of a bike accident 20 plus years ago, so I'm afraid of bikes now. However, I do walk, not on that particular trail, but on other trails. And as far as everything happening at the library, I don't think that we as a commission have any jurisdiction over any of that. While I love the library and appreciate everything about it, I don't think we have any jurisdiction over, except for who we appoint for the city. So that's it.
Yeah, I don't normally make comment. I would just say I think things get brought before this board and the answers possible are yes, no, and wait. And I just am in favor of sometimes waiting and pausing and slowing down on some things. So I just don't feel like, some of these things are not emergencies. The mural's not an emergency. It just isn't. It's a luxury. We're blessed to be able to have the funding source and the artists available, and we'll get something really good to put up there.
Commissioner Glissman. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Markwart. I have a few things that I wanted to talk about. First of all, excitement is growing about the Lilac project. It's progressing well. Our latest meeting was held at the Lapeer train depot, which was quite fun, and it was very productive as everyone in attendance is interested in working on the project and being on a steering committee. Farmers market folks, the people who get out there and sell their wares are excited about the project also and are looking forward to a good planting season in the fall and a great festival to be in the future. Some of them are going to propagate their own lilacs that they can go and sell. I think that was a great idea. People, I said this already, people have signed up to be on the steering committee. I'm still looking for more who would like to do so. Commissioner Petrie went to Home Depot and was talking with the manager there, and they are on board with the project, and they will be ordering extra lilac bushes in the fall. So if you have any questions about the project, please see Commissioner Petrie or myself. And also, I'm just hoping that all you bikers love lilacs, because I think your trails should be lined with lilac bushes. And that you could also purchase a few and plant them for us. That'd be great. So that Rodney doesn't have to plant all of them himself.
It would be great that maybe you guys who haven't been out on the trails should go out there and just walk the trails. They're not hard to walk. They're easy to get to. They're right here in the city of Lapeer. They're not far from this place.
Well, I have this great bike that's really for the beach, so maybe I'll bring that along. It has a great basket
Go
for
slow.
flights.
Just go out there and walk the trails.
Sir,
Good
this
job.
is just not public comment. Thank you.
For my history tonight for City Manager Mr. Womack, I have a happy birthday to the Saturday Evening Post. It was on this day in history in 1821 that it had its first edition. And it comes out of the same office that Benjamin Franklin published his works. And in January, from 1943 to 1961, it was always an issue about Benjamin Franklin, and they would put in a famous quote by him. One of them said, "I think nothing is of more importance for the public than to form and train up youth in wisdom and virtue. Wise and good men are, in my opinion, the strength of a state far more than riches and arms." So, hallelujah to Benjamin Franklin, and good luck. I hope the Saturday Evening Post can continue to publish. They had great colors. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Atwood.
Yeah, again, talk about art, not for long. I thank you guys for coming up with the subcommittee. At least it gives it some sort of direction. And thank you for volunteering. I mean, you could get 50 artists in a room and they would never agree. So I think we do need some sort of policy, so we can give some better direction just as a policy perspective, and that would help our decision making. I believe that would be helpful to us. But again, thank you for volunteering, coming up with this subcommittee. The Youth Council, me and the City Manager, Mr. Womack, visited Farmington Hills Youth Council. Was that a month ago now? So again, volunteered my time. It was like an hour drive there, hour back, 2.5-hour meeting. We sat and discussed a little bit with the commissioner representative on that council. The one thing that was pretty cool, and Farmington Hills has, I think their budget's a little bigger than ours, but they have a full-time paid staff who runs the youth council. They also have a commissioner representative, so the full-time, and I'm not saying that's the route we go. There was just some interesting things. The youth council, each one sat on a different committee, whether it be planning. They were on all the different boards, so they had a voice and opinion on all the boards. And then they would report back as a full body, a full board. Some of the stuff was stuff we were trying to get in-house here. Whatever reason, we couldn't ever get the minimum applicants, or if we did, they lived outside the city. So just some stuff I'm looking at and shooting ideas to Mr. Womack on how we could revamp the youth council, get that up and running, because I think I've said this before, we've kind of bypassed that whole voice in this community, not purposely, but we do a lot for the kids. We do a lot for us. I say us, maybe young. Am I a young adult? I don't know what I am anymore. And we do a lot for the elderly, but not so much the teens. And that's like the years we need to grab them and be like this is your home. You need to be proud of it. We are awesome, and we have stuff here that, our trail system that some kids probably don't even know about still that live in the city. So it's important that we have a voice in the youth in our town. I did do some volunteer work back on the trails with Commissioner Hagedon. Don't tell him I gave him praise at a public meeting, but he worked hard, and I tell you what, carrying around those heavy, my forearms were burning for 2 weeks, but it was lots of fun. And then I got to ride the trails a couple Wednesdays later, and got to relish in my work that we did back there. Went on a ride along Friday, was it last week or the week before that? Last Friday with Officer Wenzel, and great guy. I mean, when I first went to his desk, he had a book on leadership right there. I don't know if he put that there just for that, because you know it's coming. But I asked him about it. He's like, listen, if I'm going to be a leader, I want to be the best leader I can be, and I can't just wing it. I got to know what I'm doing, know what I'm talking about. And we sat there and talked for 30 minutes while I was catching up on emails, and it's just great to see what our police are actually doing, what they have to do, especially in his position where he's got to check the emails and get his guys and gals equipped for the night. It's just amazing to see the cooperation between all the different entities in our county when it comes to police. I would just say this, I would not try and do something in our town and try and get away with it. They're very, very quick to get there and respond, as we got props for the issue that we had at the county with the malfunction. And it was just fun. I think it went on a 6-7 hour, I was out there for 7 hours. Not helping patrol, but I thoroughly enjoy when he goes, you know, I highly respect you, but if for any reason I tell you to get back in that car, don't ask any questions, just get back in the car, I'll explain it later. He's like, I cannot keep focus on your safety and mine and the officers. I have to do my job, and if I ever sense there's some sort of heightened danger, you need to get back in the car. It's like, yes, sir. So really great officers. I think I was out there till midnight. So when people come in here and question integrity, because I have it online on a website, I don't like talking about what I do around here, but you know, when you throw stones, sometimes you got to catch them and lob them back. So if you ever want to know what I do around here, you can just come and ask me. I'll let you know. I don't really have to say it publicly. I'm not in it for that. Not in it for the money, not in it for the glory. I just want my city to be awesome. And I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to do my best to make it awesome. And if you can't see that, then I guess you don't really know who I am as a person. So get to know me before you throw stones. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. That sounds great. Mr. Woolmer, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I'll try to be brief since everyone's talked quite a bit. So as you guys know, I'm buying a house nearby here and gonna hopefully be moved in by October. I'm gonna have to find out whether lilacs are a shade loving or a sun plant.
Sun.
Okay, so I'm gonna find a place in my yard for a lilac bush just for you. Wanted to thank the police, fire, and all of our first responders for all the planning that's going into the Back to the Bricks, the Lapeer Days, all the events that you guys do a great job on. I feel privileged to be able to see kind of the behind the scenes inner workings of our groups, and I'll echo Mr. Atwood's comments. If you're going to commit a crime, you really don't want to do it here because you're going to get caught. After I move, I'm looking forward to volunteering, maybe not the burning sensation in my arms because it's been a while since I've worked out. I'm also looking forward to an 18 mural here in this community. We'll have to find a place to put it and how to pay for it. And then for my friend, Miss Glissman, today is the birthday of Louis Armstrong in 1901.
I like Louis Armstrong.
That's all I got, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have a few local events to go over. The East Lapeer Farmers Market continues on Saturdays through October. That's on the Imlay City Road. The Historic Farmers Market is Wednesdays and Saturdays. The DDA Lapeer Car Cruise is Mondays through September 15th. That's always from 5 to 9. Friday Night Bikes There'll be August 8th and then August 22nd, which will be their last evening. There will be no bike night on during Lapeer days. Then Lapeer Chamber Food Truck is September 8th. That's from 4 to 8. City parking lot number 5. The DDA Summer Concert Series, that will go through on Thursdays through August 21st, and that's from 6:30 to 8. And the DDA Back to the Bricks tune-up event, that's this Wednesday from 4 to 8 downtown. And then there's the Lapeer Area Chamber of Commerce, the Lapeer Days Festival. We've all known and loved for years, 100+ years. That's August 15th through August 17th. And including the Carnival, Sherbeck Carnival, that's August 13th, which is a Wednesday, through Sunday, August 17th. I, too, would like to thank everybody for being here and taking interest this evening, and to the Oakdale Trail Extension volunteers. Thank you for taking care of the trails. I do walk them occasionally, and including the sidewalk, and all your other efforts, I really appreciate. The beautiful scenery. Just being outdoors, enjoying it, because it's such a short season. So, and then that's all I have this evening, and so with that, no further business on the agenda. This meeting now is adjourned. Thank you so much.